You've spent years being the dependable one, the giver, the helper, the person who always shows up. You've done it out of love, out of responsibility, and because deep down it's simply who you are. But somewhere in that journey, you began to feel worn out, unseen, even invisible. The truth is this: kindness without limits is no longer kindness. It becomes neglect of yourself. Every time you say yes when your heart wants to say no, every time you swallow your feelings just to avoid conflict, every time you carry the weight of everyone else's problems without asking for help, you're silently teaching the world that your time and energy don't matter. In this message, I want to gently uncover 8 common habits that look like kindness, but actually leave you smaller, drained, and less respected. You're not too late to change this. You're not too old to choose differently. Your voice still matters. Your peace still matters. Your needs still matter. And it's time to honor that. Let's begin. One of the most common patterns is feeling the need to explain yourself whenever you say no. Someone asks for your help, and even though your body is telling you, "I don't have the energy today," before the word no even comes out, your mind scrambles for excuses. "I'm sorry, I have an appointment. I'd love to, but I'm so busy. Maybe next time." You're not lying. You're just trying to avoid guilt. But deep down, many of us, especially women raised to please, carry a belief that our no must come with a reason. Here's what I want you to remember. You don't owe anyone an explanation for looking after yourself. You don't need permission to rest. You don't have to justify why your time matters. Every time you over-explain, you're actually asking people to approve your boundary instead of simply respecting it. And the more you explain, the more space you give others to push back. "Oh, it won't take long. You can do that later. Come on, it's no big deal." Suddenly your no becomes negotiable, and before you know it, you've said yes again. Not because you wanted to, but because you didn't want to seem selfish, rude, or difficult. But here's the truth. People who genuinely care about you don't need long explanations. They need honesty. Sometimes that honesty is as simple as, "No, I can't this time." Period. The hardest part isn't saying no. It's letting go of the fear that saying no makes you less lovable. You're not unkind for having limits. You're not selfish for protecting your time. You're not rude for choosing rest. Every time you say no without apology, you're sending a quiet but powerful message to the world and to yourself. My needs matter, too. Maybe you've noticed this about yourself. You're the one everyone calls when their world is falling apart. You've always been the listener, the comforter, the steady shoulder. You don't judge. You don't interrupt. You just let people spill every detail of their pain. But slowly, something shifts. The phone rings, and instead of warmth, you feel a heaviness in your chest. Another hour of problems. Another crisis. Another one-way conversation. You hang up drained, not because you're heartless, but because you've been carrying loads that don't belong to you. Being supportive is beautiful, but there's a fine line between support and self-sacrifice. When you become someone's emotional dumping ground, where they unload and unload without ever giving back, that's not connection. That's an emotional transaction, and you're the one paying the bill. Some people don't actually want healing. They want an audience. They don't seek change. They want rehearsal for their pain. And they know you'll pick up because you always do. So your day starts calm, but by lunchtime, you're filled with other people's chaos. And you begin to believe that your peace always comes second to their drama. But you don't have to keep living that way. It's okay to say, "I'm not in the space for this right now." It's okay to gently shift the conversation. "That sounds tough. What are you going to do about it?" It's okay to stop being everyone's emergency hotline, especially for people who never check on you. That doesn't make you unkind. It makes you wise. Your heart is precious, but not everyone should have unlimited access to it. Think about this. How many times have you cooked for someone who never thanked you? Driven someone around without being offered gas money? Run errands for others while pushing aside your own needs? You give and give, not because you expect anything back, but because it's who you are. You grew up believing that generosity equals love, that service makes you valuable, that giving is what good women do. But let me ask, when was the last time someone gave to you without being asked? If that question stings, you're not alone. Many women in their 50s, 60s, and beyond realize they spent decades surrounded by people who expect their generosity rather than appreciate it. Over time, you start to feel used, not in dramatic ways, but in little disappointments that stack up. You hope someone remembers your birthday the way you remembered theirs. You wish someone would step in when you're struggling. Often it doesn't happen. And when it does, it feels forced, not heartfelt. The truth is, generosity without balance becomes a burden. True giving should feel expansive, like it fills both sides, not like it empties you. Yes, some people say you're too nice, but what they really mean is too easy to take from. You can still give, but only where you're valued. If someone disappears the moment you need help, they're not a friend. They're a taker. From now on, give where there's mutual care. And never confuse being kind with being someone's free service. And then there's this subtle habit, apologizing for simply existing. Sorry to bother you. Sorry, I'm rambling. Sorry, I didn't mean to be a burden. You say it when you speak up, when you ask for help, sometimes even when you walk into a room. Why? For many women, especially those raised to be accommodating, sorry becomes a reflex. We use it as punctuation. We use it to shrink ourselves before anyone else does. But each time you say sorry for nothing, you quietly chip away at your own worth. You signal, to others and to yourself, that your presence is inconvenient, your needs are interruptions, your voice is too much. Over years, that silences you. You don't speak up when hurt. You don't ask for help when needed. You stop believing your feelings are valid. But hear me, you have nothing to apologize for when you're simply being yourself. Real apologies are powerful when you've done harm. But apologizing for existing isn't kindness. It's self-erasure. Instead of sorry, try thank you. Sorry I'm late becomes thank you for waiting. Sorry I'm talking too much becomes thank you for listening. That shift changes how others see you and how you see yourself. You belong here, not because you've earned it, but because you are here. And that is enough. Maybe you've noticed this too. You glance around to see if people approve after you speak. You hold back your true opinion because you're unsure how others will take it. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. Smile when something hurts. Agree to things you don't believe, just to be liked. Because like all humans, you crave connection. But over time, that hunger for approval steals your authenticity. The more you chase validation, the more you lose touch with yourself. You start performing, being a version of yourself designed to keep others comfortable. You start doubting your instincts, wondering if your feelings are too much. You let other people's approval dictate whether you're good enough, lovable enough, smart enough. But here's the truth. Your value isn't decided by anyone's reaction. If someone dismisses your voice, your truth is still true. If someone ignores your efforts, you're still worthy. If someone gives you affection only when you earn it, that's not love. That's control. Stop bending and shrinking for people who refuse to see your worth. Stop performing for those who don't matter. Be your own anchor. And then there's availability. You answer every call. You rearrange your schedule when someone needs you. You say yes before they finish asking. Not because you're weak, but because you're reliable. And while dependability is beautiful, when you're always available, people stop appreciating you. It's human nature. We value what feels rare. But when people know you'll always say yes, they stop asking if you want to. They just expect. And you slowly begin to feel like an option, not a priority. You cancel your plans for others. You answer late-night texts, even when exhausted. You say, it's no big deal, but deep down it is. And sometimes you keep saying yes because you're afraid of what will happen if you don't. But the truth is, real relationships don't rely on constant availability. If someone only values you when you're on call, that's not connection. It's convenience. Boundaries around your time aren't distance. They're dignity. Silence is another habit. Not the silence of peace, but of fear. You stayed quiet, not because you had nothing to say, but because speaking up might cause tension. You've bitten your tongue at the dinner table, smiled when someone hurt you, told yourself, it's not worth the fight. But every time you swallow your truth, a little piece of your voice disappears. Keeping the peace is not the same as having peace. Peace that costs you your truth is not peace, it's performance. You're allowed to say, that didn't sit right with me. You're allowed to speak boundaries without being labeled difficult. The people who truly love you want your real voice, not just the easy parts. And yes, speaking up may make some people uncomfortable, but that discomfort is proof you're finally doing something different. Because the truth is this: real love doesn't require performance. Real love is unconditional. It accepts your no. It appreciates you even when you're unavailable. It listens when you speak. Most importantly, real love begins with loving yourself enough to stop begging for scraps of affection. You deserve love that doesn't demand exhaustion, silence, or sacrifice. So if you saw yourself in any of these 8 patterns, know this: there is no shame in it. There's no weakness in having loved so deeply you forgot yourself. In fact, there's incredible strength in realizing it and choosing a new way forward. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are not behind. This moment, right here, could be the most powerful one of your life. Because now you see. And once you see, you can't unsee. The truth is, you've always been worthy. Not because of what you do, not because of how much you give, but simply because you are here, alive, growing, learning. So let this be the season where your yes comes from joy, not guilt, where your love for others doesn't mean the loss of yourself, where you begin to show up for you with the same devotion you've given everyone else. Because your voice, your needs, your peace, they matter. And it's time the world, and you believe it. Let this chapter of your life be different. Let this be the season where you stop running yourself thin just to be loved, and instead start standing tall in the truth that you were lovable all along. You don't need to prove your worth through endless sacrifice. You don't need to earn rest through exhaustion. You don't need to explain why your voice deserves to be heard. You don't need to shrink so others can feel comfortable. You have carried people. You have held their tears, their struggles, their needs. Now it's time to hold yourself, to nurture yourself, to protect your energy like the precious, sacred gift that it is. This is not selfishness. This is survival. This is dignity. This is strength. The world has benefited from your giving heart. But imagine how much more powerful you will be when your heart is full, when your giving comes from overflow, not depletion. So from this day forward, may your yes be rooted in joy, not in fear. May your no be clear, unapologetic, and free of guilt. May you love in ways that don't erase you. May you walk into every room knowing you belong, without needing to shrink, explain, or apologize. And when you're tempted to go back to old patterns, overgiving, overexplaining, overperforming, pause, breathe, remind yourself, my needs matter, my voice matters, my peace matters. I matter, because the most beautiful, powerful truth of all is this: you have always been enough, exactly as you are. So let the rest of your story be written in bold letters, not a quiet footnote in everyone else's life, but a full, vibrant, unapologetic chapter of your own. The love, the respect, the peace you've given away so freely. It's time for you to claim it too, and you deserve nothing less. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned and how you'll apply it in your life. Your comments inspire us to keep going. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips and share. Your support makes it possible for us to continue creating content that informs and uplifts. We appreciate you watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.